It's another warm day in Arkansas, and I am going to take advantage of it again. Well, hello once again. Yes, I am out here. I have this little sharp chisel. It's the only thing I could find that would really help do this job. Trying to get this crap off of here, boy. I'll tell you what. I have been at it now for 40 minutes, and I'm still going strong. I don't know how full my vacuum cleaner is, but you can bet there's a bunch of it in there. As I said, this old boy probably lived on a dirt road that initially bought this car. You know, back in the 60s, you have to understand, in Arkansas, there weren't that many paved roads. Almost everything was dirt, especially out in the farmland country. So that's where all this came from. You can bet on it. There's a machine shop in town, or at least there used to be. It was run by this fella. He was an older guy, and he pulled his grandson in and taught him everything to know that he needed to know about the business. And I think, it may not be the same person, but I think the grandpa passed on and the grandson took over the business, and he's been doing it ever since. Now, I don't know if he's still in business. It's been years since I've been down there, but I'll go check him out. And once I get this halfway clean, you know, sprayed down, and I'm going to use it. Once I get, it even looks like it has some undercoating on it, which it probably does. I don't know, but we're getting there slow but sure. But I'd like to take this into him, and maybe he can go ahead and do the bearing for me, and or check the bearings and check the race and stuff like that. Stuff I could do, but like I said, I don't. They usually use an impact wrench for taking this nut off and on. I checked the book. It takes 220 foot-pounds minimum to tighten that thing up and put the preload on those bearings. And these gears, this is your ring gear right here. Big old sucker. Why is it called a ring? Because it's round. It makes a ring. Anyway, we'll see how things go. Let me stay at it here. Well, that's our initial cleaning. I got, you know, what, 90, maybe 90% of it off. I'll go through now with, you know, smaller tools to see if I can get as much off as possible. But right now, it's coffee time. I've been at this over an hour, and I'm just tired. Well, break time is over, and it appears that I'm going to be on my own as far as this rear end goes. I call it machine shops, and they're automotive machine shops. Check that out, you know. And I told them I have a rear end out of a 66 Thunderbird. I need a seal put in and the bearings checked. Oh, we don't do any of that stuff. What do you mean you don't do any? It says here you're an automotive machine shop. Oh, we only do engines. You know, and I'm thinking, well, why don't you just label your place the engine machine shop? So, fine and dandy. I've been on my own before. I'll be on my own again. Not a problem. We can deal with it. So, once I get it all clean, then we'll go ahead and start figuring out how to, you know, getting it apart probably won't be that difficult. But like I said, I'll probably have to wait until it's on the car. But I would like to check the rear bearing and race as well. So I'm not sure what we're going to do here. What I may wind up doing is just cleaning it as good as I can. Go ahead and remove this. Yeah, remove the nut, you know, remove this, pull this out, remove the old seal. I think I can get the bearing out, and the race can be checked. And if it looks pretty good, you know, well, I'm just not going to make a big deal about it. Like I said, I'm not completely restoring this thing. It won't be raced a lot. As a matter of fact, it won't be raced at all. It's just going to be a chug around town. And if it starts growling, I had a 57 Chevy one time that belongs to my son now. The rear end started growling one day and just rah, 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 rah. So we went down to a junkyard, found another one, put it in, piece of cake. Won't be that easy this time because it is a Thunderbird, but the car still operated okay, you know. And so that's what we're going to do at this stage. Well, that's it for today on that. I'm kind of worn out and scraping and cleaning, and I don't know. I think what I'll do next is probably shower down on it with some engine bright cleaner, you know, some gunk, that kind of stuff, and let it set for an hour or two, keep it wet, and, you know, just basically hit it again with the power washer. All the dirt's off of it, but there's still a lot of, I know it's undercoating. It may be road tar, but I think it's undercoating. There's still quite a bit on there that you can see it in small spots looking around. All those black spots are an undercoating kind of texture, so I don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll get it as clean as we can, and then we'll just call it a day. Right now, let's move on to something else. The temperature's beginning to drop, and I've been meaning to get this done for a couple of days. We are going to go ahead and put these plugs back in the trunk. And I've taken, put a bead of silicone all the way around it and let it dry. I didn't want to put it in there wet because if I ever have to take them off, you know, it might remove some of the paint and all that jazz. Whereas this is, you know, stands a better chance of not removing paint, but it does give me a good water seal. One of our good subscribers said, you know, they just never even put them back in. They just left them out. You know, that way you don't get any water accumulation. Well, I don't want to do that. You know, I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. Hopefully the seal I put around the trunk will keep it from leaking. And there's one more seal I have to put in. We'll cover that at a later date. But let's go ahead and put this in. I've got brand new bolts to do it with. I was going to use lock washers, but then I decided against it. We'll just go with the metal cutting, the thread cutting bolts, just like the ones I had in there initially. And let's see what they look like. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to torque them down to, you know, 100 foot-pounds. We're going to put them in there, get a nice tight seal, and let it ride. Alright, those are in. What I'm going to do now is give each of the bolt heads a nice shot of primer. And then I'll go ahead and put the Wimbledon spray. I'll prime them all the way around, of course. I'll put the Wimbledon white over the top tomorrow after it's dried all night. The next thing I'm going to have to do, probably next week, is I'm going to have to get this filler tube protector on. Unfortunately, the holes in the protector, the black thing, do not match up with the holes in the body of the car. A couple of them do, but the rest, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 holes that were drilled with screws put through them, I assume. And I'm going to have to do a little bending and maybe even have to drill another hole in a different place to get it to work. And it won't make any difference anyway. An extra hole won't matter as long as it protects the fuel filter pipe. That's the main thing. As long as, if I can get 2 of the 4 holes to match up, I can drill 2 more. Not a problem. Hopefully I can get 3 of the holes. I know that 3 might line up with the existing holes, but down here, there's not even a hole in the body. They apparently left that one out at the factory. I don't know. Didn't even drill it. Either that or, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why there's no hole down there. I'll have to drill that one almost for sure. I'll let you know if there's a hole materializes overnight. Let's check one more thing here before calling it a day. The temperature is really beginning to drop here. Well, let's see how well our parts are doing that we stuck in there about a week ago. Our new parts that were rusty. First time I've looked at them, actually. Alright. Let's take one out. Still looks pretty rusty. Let's take this. That's alright, you know, I got plenty of time to de-rust them. Let's see what happens when we screw. Oh yeah, see there, the rust is coming right off. All I'm doing is giving it a light brush with the brass bristle brush I have. Just give it a little helping hand. Don't have to do much to it, just a quick wipe down. Then we'll let it soak for a little while longer. Just wash it off and see what happens here. Wash it in the old vinegar. Better be careful, I'll be dropping my camera in the vinegar. I don't want that to happen. Oh yeah, see, she's cleaning up really good. See how that rust just slides right off there with a little bit of brushing. Hardly any work at all. I love this vinegar stuff. I'll probably come out tomorrow after I've had a chance to work a little bit more on the car. And last thing I'll do is come over and scrub it a little bit more. But anyway, right now, we'll just go ahead and let it sit down in there. Let her continue to soak. This will probably be the last video, by the way, before I forget, until after Christmas. You know, Christmas is next Tuesday, but we'll be celebrating Christmas with our family this weekend because, you know, they have other people to celebrate with. And plus they want to get back home and celebrate themselves, you know, in their own family, in their own homes. And I understand that. And as far as the wife and I are concerned, you know, it doesn't matter. We'll celebrate Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Who cares, you know? Wifey's going to like what I got her for Christmas. I got her some clothes and one special gift. And she'll be opening that up Sunday when our son gets here. Well, ladies and germs, that's about the extent of the cleanliness that I plan to do on this differential. I've done my very best. It's been completely, scraped down. You saw it. And then I took the wire brush, several different kinds of wire brushes I have on the end of the drill, got in every crack and crevice I could possibly get in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow it off with some air best I can, and then we'll go over it with a paintbrush and some alcohol and let it dry, and hopefully get some primer paint on it tonight. Now, by cleaning with alcohol, I mean this. I just pour a bunch of regular old rubbing alcohol in a container, just kind of give it a good brushing. I'm not sure if it really does anything, but it makes me feel better, and that's all that counts, okay? Any remaining, maybe some surface grease that might be on there, maybe it'll help get rid of some of this, so the paint, the primer paint will stick there a little better. Does it do it? Who knows? Who cares? Anyway, this center piece here still has a bunch of gook down in there and everything. I scraped, dug out as much as I could. And once we remove this yoke, get the nut off, remove the yoke and this thing here, and we'll clean the rest of it and get it looking real good down in there before we put it back together. Since I'm going to have to wind up doing this myself, I think I pretty much know. This thing's got 1, 2, it's only got 3 threads exposed, and this is how much play we have. You can't tell by that. There we go. Can you hear that? That's all we got. Not very much play. So when we're all done doing our preload on this thing, that's the kind of play we want. No more than that. Look how much rust was underneath. I don't know if that's rust or primer. Might be a primer paint. That's what it looks like to me. It's primer, not rust. Okay, let me finish it up. Well, there you go. Stage 1 is complete. Well, actually, stage 1 and 2. First the cleaning, then the painting with the primer. Stage 3 is coming up with the black paint as soon as I have a cup of coffee. Well, it's the next day. I didn't get a chance to finish painting that differential last night. I got pulled away to do something else, which is about par for the course around here. So let's get it done. Well, I'm about done with the first coat here. I'm just going to use this can. It's about empty. I'm going to go ahead and use it up. You can tell it just doesn't want to spray too good at the bottom there, but that's okay. I got me another one sitting there. I'm probably going to put about 3 coats on this thing. That's about it for that. Alright, let's take a break for a few minutes and then we'll hook up the new can and hit it. Well, that's it. Job is done, cleaned, painted, looking good. I'm going to let this thing set for about 3 days. Just let it sit here and completely harden up. I want the paint to be hard before I start manhandling it. I'm not sure when. Maybe, well, it'll be after Christmas, that's for sure. But I'm going to have to, like I said, get the bolt off. Getting this yoke off is not so easy either. Using it as a tool. I'm going to try to figure, I have a wheel puller that might work. I might be able to get it across these two and then just jack it down with a ratchet and get that thing up off there. Sometimes they pop off easy. Most of the time they do not. Anyway, our good friend and subscriber, Blockmeister, I'm sure you're happy to know I pulled it off without needing a tetanus shot. Well, I was going to wrap the video up at this point, but I figured what the heck, it's probably going to be a fairly short video anyway, relatively speaking. Let's go back and, it's been a couple of days. Let's go back and see if we can't scrub these babies up. Or at least get one of them scrubbed up. And maybe even one of them painted. By the way, I did find out what the names of these are in the book. We've been calling them center pad clamps and all kinds of crap, Actually, the top one is called a cushion retainer. And the bottom one is called the spring clip. Let me see, it's a spring clip plate. That's what it is. The bottom one that has the little ears on it, I think this is the one on top. The one that has the little ears on it, that's called, this goes in there from the bottom. It goes from, like I said, the bottom up. Then the U-bolts go through those holes right there. And it's called the spring clip plate. How about that? Well, I don't think they're going to completely clean up yet, but I'm going to scrub them down with a wire brush, and I don't know, let them soak for another week. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I don't have this leaf springs yet anyway, so what the heck? Let's see what I can do. Well, here's what she's looking like now after, we're a little work over with a brass bristle brush, the size of a toothbrush. And it's looking really good. I got to do a little bit more scrubbing with the brush, not much. But it's going to sit down in the vinegar for probably another 2 to 3 days. The reason being, on the backside here, the rust was so deep. It was so pitted and so deep, I had to take my my rotary tool with the grinding stone and grind it out. That's all I could do. It was, you can see how deep that is. It was just awful on both sides. It was real thick. It was a mound of rust. It had to be taken all the way down to the metal. And I got most of it. We did real well on that. So all we're going to do now is just let it soak for 2 or 3 more days, maybe till, let me see, this is Wednesday the 19th, so I'll probably come back and look at it on Saturday. This is a little bit of before and after, kind of give you an idea of what we're having to deal with. I haven't looked at the back side of this one. Yeah, see how thick that rust is back down in there? I'm going to have to grind all that away also. Oh man, I'll tell you what. This poor old car has had the problems over the years with rust. Well, that's about it. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, and please enjoy. It's a great time to be with the family, a great time to eat things you weren't supposed to eat all through the year, and we're kind of sneaking it. Now you can just do it in the open. The heck with it. Don't worry about it. You want that extra piece of pie? Go get it. You know, charge to the pie. You know, and I also wanted to say thanks to everyone throughout the year, you know, that sent me things and given me encouragement and commented on my videos and that sort of thing. It's the time of year for me to do so. I need to get down to Walmart. I don't think I'm going to go to Walmart. I think I'm going to go to the Salvation Army store itself where Gerald works. You know who Gerald is. For those of you who follow my yearly videos in December, I always donate money to Salvation Army, and Gerald is the one that stands here ringing the bell. He got the Santa Claus beard and all that. Actual beard, by the way. Well, he's not doing it this year. I guess it's because he's old, and he's older, and the cold gets to him. I don't know. So I'm going to go down to the Salvation Army store, and I'm going to ask to see Gerald. He always works in the back. Hopefully he'll be there, and then he can take me over to the little jar they got there, or whatever they have. You know, we'll do it there. It doesn't matter where I do it. It can be in front of Walmart with a bell ringer, or it can be in the store with Gerald, as long as it's me and Gerald. Again, see, that's a tradition, much like what I have here in my hand, which was sent to me by our good subscriber and our friend Tom MGB out in Glendale, California. Every year he sends me a card, and it almost always has a CD in it with some music. And he's done that for, gosh, years, going way back. And he says, Tom says, by the way, he gets his name, Tom MGB. He gets that because he restored an MGB. And his YouTube handle is Tom MGB. And he says, hey John and Wifey, first I hope Wifey is doing better. Maybe the weather will cut you some slack and let you jump back into your Thunderbird. Now I don't know if that's good or bad. It depends on your point of view, I guess. Some of you may have wanted this video ended, you know, when it first started. Says, on one of your videos I heard Beatle music playing in the background, so I assume you're a fan. Yeah, I am. I remember the very first song that came out on my AM radio in my car. It was sung by the Beatles. It would have been in 1964, I believe. 63, 64. And it was I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. And everybody went, wow, that's kind of neat. I said, yeah. I think it was 64. It says, I assume you're a fan. I hope you like the Beatles live at the Hollywood Bowl, which is what this is right here. He says, I've been to the Bowl many times. It's really nice. I'm hoping you and Wifey and your family have a very Merry Christmas and a safe and happy 2019. Your pal Tom. Well, same to you, buddy. Thank you very much for this. I appreciate that. Matter of fact, I kind of look forward to these things every year, Tom. Sorry about that. But he's got me a pretty nice collection. And Brendan has sent me a lot of CDs in a while back that had a lot of oldies but goodies. I play them a lot in the van when I drive the wife's van around. So, very Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you for watching the videos all year long and helping me out and supporting me. By the way, I noticed the other day, I hadn't checked in a long, long time. Our subscriber count is over 5,000 now. That's amazing. Of course, it only took me, what, 12 years? Some guys get a channel going, and within 3 days they've got 2 million subscribers. You know, it just astonishes me. I don't know how that happens, but that's okay. You know, give me the ones that want to be here. The numbers don't matter. a guy that has 10,000 subscribers and he only has, 160 that watch his videos every time. Come on, there's no balance there, But I've got 5,000. We do pretty good. We do pretty good because it's our channel. I've always thought this is our channel. Not my channel, it's our channel because you guys comment. Sometimes you give me information I already know, and other times you give me stuff I don't know or point me in directions that I didn't know existed. And it's always good to have you here. I'm glad you're part of the channel. Ooh, it's ringing. I don't know what that noise is. Every once in a while, my phone makes that weird noise. And anybody can tell me what that is. I don't know what it is. When I look, there's nothing on the phone. I don't know what that weird sound is. So if somebody can help me out with that. I'm a newbie when it comes to iPhones. Okay, until next time, I guess that's going to be it. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody. I'll be back after Christmas, I hope, with a follow-up video on what you saw today. Until next time, this is John.